Alice, she's taking on an issue that is at the heart of the development process in many parts of the world. It's not just Kenya.
It's a very lonely field for women mediators of armed conflict. It's lonely in the sense that peacemaking is not seen to be women's business.
So you then imagine where you have a woman rubbing shoulders with the best and greatest in Kenya in terms of the work that she does. You just know it never came easy. She's had to overcome odds.
We had our elections in 2007. It was heavily contested. The losers did not accept defeat. The ethnic communities affiliated to the political parties took to the streets, and there was bad violence.
So nobody expected this degree of violence in Kenya. It was an all-out ethnic war. About 1,200 people were killed in violence across the country. More than 500,000 displaced. And what was so frightening about this was that they knew the perpetrators. The perpetrators were neighbors. The perpetrators were friends. And Kenyans woke up to the reality that you can't take peace and stability for granted.
Why should people be killed because of an election? We didn't see the reason why, and that is why we ourselves decided that we should help to restore peace.
For us, it became necessary to try a dialogue process. Alice's role was a mediator. She conceptualized the dialogue process. She was able to identify the community groups to bring on board. She was able also to bring them to a safe space where they could feel comfortable enough to make concessions, have a compromise. And she was able to help them also come up with an agreement which would help in ensuring that in the future they didn't have a similar scenario like we did in 2007.
People come with the ego. People come pretending they don't want to talk. People come pretending that, we are macho, we can still beat those guys, we can flatten them, who do they think they are? Or they want to talk to us, we don't want to talk to them. But after they present their position papers, you begin to chip away at the edges of their ego, and you begin to really getting that feeling that everyone is sick and tired of the violence.
Alice is, I think, a really consummate facilitator. Alice has a capacity to get people who are in extreme situations of conflict and mistrust to trust her and to take risks, to try and find new solutions, even when those are risky to themselves. The peace agreements that Alice facilitated in Nakuru, in Plateau, and Kaduna states in Nigeria are in themselves experiments in pluralism. They're affirmations that a pluralist agenda is what these communities want going forward, and they're committing themselves to pluralism through the agreements that Alice has drafted.
She has a drive to continue doing it irrespective of the challenges, largely because I think she believes in people, even when people don't believe in themselves. She wants to see a different kind of Africa, even when we are not convinced that we'll ever see a different kind of Africa.
Alice is a perennial optimist. So even in the midst of the most difficult challenges, that smile never leaves her face, and I'm sure you've noticed. And what it does is it gives hope, because sometimes problems look insurmountable.
A lot of the work that happens in these incredibly complicated and difficult sorts of processes is often invisible and doesn't get recognized for the extraordinary difficulties and risks that Alice has faced when she's taken controversial decisions to, as I said, reach out to people who are against a pluralist agenda and convince them that they need to come in.
The one thing she never forgets is bringing the inclusion agenda to the table. The Nakuru peace process, where she was an only woman, and seeing how she struggled even bringing women to the table, it's something that she wants to see change.
And it sets an example also for young women simply to be leaders, which I think is also a really important message, not just for the younger generation, but for men to understand that women can be at the forefront of helping to solve these problems.
I always tell people, you know something? It's okay. It's okay to be who you are. When you come to this table, don't apologize for your religion. Don't apologize for your ethnic community. Don't apologize for what they've done or what they think of, for their stereotypes, for their biases, because all of us have biases and stereotypes. We grow up with them. It's what you do with them that then becomes the problem. We can never allow what divides us to build into biases and stereotypes that then translate into violence. I tell them, guess what? We are going nowhere. You can keep fighting and fighting. We are going to be here until one day you'll tell us, but why are you still here? We don't need you. We have peace now. And I told them, and that day will come, and I believe in it, and you must believe in it as well.
We need the Alice's and Nderitus of this world to help broker this new understanding that give young people a sense that I am included, that this space is for all of us, not for the old and the politically connected, that I can invest in my society and find fulfillment. That's the diversity. That's the inclusion. That's the social contract, a new understanding between the state and those it governs, as using the peaceful methods of conflict prevention, of amicable settlement, so that we can envision together a new society.